So how good is the 2015 12-inch Retina Macbook in 2025, 10 years later? Let's take a look at what it offers. So Apple introduced a new type of MacBook in 2015. We already had the MacBook Air, and then we had the MacBook Pro. But this MacBook is a very subcompact size and was very, very different compared and is set right in between the MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro lineup. Very, very different. It was very intriguing. Let's go over all the nuances of this device and how it was kind of revolutionary and ushered into Apple's new future in MacBooks. And also, some people didn't like certain things about this Retina MacBook Air 2015 edition. So let's take a look. So this MacBook was launched brand new in 2015 with a pretty big price tag, $1,300. That was more expensive than the MacBook Airs, which were around $1,000. This was more of a pro price, but you weren't getting that much in technology, but you were getting revolutionary body and things that were just, kind of fresh and brand new at the time. $200 is what you could find them now for on used websites. So from $1,300 to $200, yeah, price went down, even though it's a 10-year-old device. The thing that stands out to me the most is just how compact this MacBook was. It was only 2 pounds, and it had a pretty big keyboard for its size, but some people thought it was a little bit cramped. It's like the keyboard extends from edge to edge. It had a really gigantic, nice keypad or trackpad, I mean. So it was very, very compact. The display on this, the name Retina is in the name of this MacBook, and it was a huge upgrade over the very, very matte type screen that was on the previous MacBook Air. So it just looked very fresh, very modern. It looked like a MacBook Pro that had already had the Retina display on there. Another compromise on this device is that it had a 480p display camera. So for $1,300, you're not even really getting a really nice camera on there, but it did its job for FaceTime calls and stuff. I've never been a big fan or a big person into camera quality. I mean, for a FaceTime call, more practical, 480p is okay. But yeah, that Retina the screen is really, really nice. Another thing that just really made this device stand out is that there was no more USB type A ports. They removed them. You're getting a single USB type C port. That's the first MacBook to have it, and it only had one. So you remove the MagSafe charging cable, you remove USB A, and you're going straight into one USB type C port, which at the time was very revolutionary because only other manufacturers were starting to utilize USB type C. So Apple, this was a huge jump. No Lightning, no MagSafe. It was ushering a new era of how to change your, charge your device. So that was a big, big difference maker right there. And it made this device feel overall, new and modern. A lot of people didn't like that because you got to deal with dongles if you want to charge your device at the same time while plugging in other stuff like storage and for monitors and stuff like that. But it also had a headphone jack. So that's only 2 ports you find on here is USB type C and the headphone jack. So we got a small, compact device, and you're taking away things that are practical, but you're adding things like a Retina display, and now it's just way more lightweight than even a MacBook Air, which weighed around 2.75 pounds. So, this is like the most compact, really, really lightweight MacBook that you could get in 2015. Another big change that is still being used today is that this is the first MacBook that got rid of that backlit Apple logo that everybody, the Apple MacBooks were known for, and replaced it with a shiny Apple non-lighted logo on the top of the device. So that's gonna, people that see that, they're gonna know that this is a new type of MacBook, which is still being used today. This device was fanless, so you're not getting any noise from this device, and that it's kind of good and bad, because if it doesn't have a fan, the heat that the computer makes, it's not gonna be good for the device. It might overheat, or that's gonna compromise usability and performance. Now, battery life, this was brand new, you could have gotten 9 hours of web browsing, which pretty much was advertised as all day. But now, obviously, if you were to get this device 10 years later, that's not up to par with what's being sold now in 2025. 18 hours is what they advertise for all day battery life. And if you were to get this used, realistically, you're probably going to get, I don't know, maybe 4 hours of battery life right there. But I don't think that's bad, because since they switched over to USB Type-C, you can kind of charge this device like a tablet or a phone, which makes it very, very portable. So I don't think it's such a bad deal right there. This device has 8 gigs of RAM, which is good, and 256 of internal storage to start off with. So actually, it's not looking that bad. But a lot of people do complain that that the performance on this device suffered compared to other MacBooks at the time, for the price that you're paying, and they say that it was slow. But I don't think that, for most people, I don't think they'll notice that much of performance loss compared to the Pro or even the MacBook Airs at the time. If you're just using it, if you're a non-content creator, I think you probably wouldn't notice. This device also has Bluetooth 4.0, which means a little bit ancient now. And then the other big change on this device came with the butterfly keyboard, and that's probably the biggest thing that people hated about this device, is that they went away from the butterfly, or the old school keyboard, which had a little bit more clickiness to it. This is more of a flat design, and a lot of people didn't like it, and supposedly people reported a lot of failure with the keyboard. So I don't know, I guess it really depends. If you're typing a lot and you notice that type of stuff, to me, as long as it works, I don't really care. But like I said, some people said that there's a high failure rate on the keyboard, on the butterfly keyboard. What else are you getting on this device? Well, you're getting macOS 11 Big Sur. So you're not getting the latest Ventura or the latest Sequoia on here. So you're running an older version of macOS on this, but it's it's still usable. You don't got all the new bells and whistles, but for example, you do get Control Center on there, so it doesn't feel that outdated. So how is this device still usable in 2025, 10 years later after launch? I really do think so, but it depends on what type of person you are. If you're like me, you're a everyday user, you're gonna be fine with this device. It's gonna be good for Safari. That's what I'm usually on. I think that's what most people are, is on a browser, and Safari on this will work good. It's good for paying bills, for banking, general web browsing, Facebook, check your calendar. You can do, watching YouTube, messaging on WhatsApp, on Telegram, on iMessage. Basically, anytime you need a desktop browser with a keyboard and you gotta fill out forms or something like that, this is gonna be perfect. This is like a really, really compact, portable device. You can do a lot with it as long as it's not intensive. I'll just say it that if you can't edit on this device, any type of videos, edit pictures, do any type of music, anything like that, yeah, this device is not gonna be good. It's gonna slow down, performance is gonna suffer. But email, FaceTime, iMessage, if you just wanna use AirDrop on this device back and forth, or if you just run a couple of spreadsheets here and there, this device is still really good. Even 10 years later, I would recommend it. Like I said, this is good for the general everyday person, this would be great. Not for a content creator or somebody that needs to open up all these third-party apps that you download and run a bunch of apps at the same time. That's not going to be good. And I think that was a problem for most people when this device came out, is that the enthusiast, it really wasn't for them. This is for the everyday user that just wanted a modern laptop that had the modern connections of USB-C, had a nicer screen, very thin and light. That appeals to me, and I think for most people. But that price tag of $1,300 is what really made this device suffer. Apple discontinued this type of MacBook for around 3 years. I think they discontinued in 2017, so this didn't have a big run. But I'm kind of impressed because it ushered in the Retina displays on MacBooks Airs. It ushered in USB Type-C. It ushered in just that very portable device. You're going to be using AirDrop a lot on this device, since you know, if you don't want to use dongles and stuff like that. But an everyday user could still get a lot of use out of this in 2025. So this was a big jump for Apple. It wasn't perfect, and it had some bugs, and the price was big, but it really felt like a different, fresh design.